This is KUGAN CASSIUS for Rifle TV in association with MTK Global. It's the morning of...
Looking well.
You're looking well. What you got on?
Little Under Armour. It's called Thread Bore or Bone. Thread Bone.
Shorts to buy.
Under Armour.
Under Armour.
Under Armour. So
It's all free stuff, I'm assuming.
not had a shower, not done the barnet. We're going to get some work. We're going to get a little workout now. Then we're going to have a little steam. And then we're going to go and put the clobber on and go over to the hydro. Yeah, boy.
So, what's going to be about, what, 12,000 in there, 14,000?
Oh, yeah, it sounds about right.
What? How many in there tonight?
8,000.
8,000?
Yeah, 8,500, something like that. Genuine number. So,
All right.
yeah, no curtains up blocking off the arena.
Okay. I'm not claiming to be the best judge of a crowd.
Apparently not.
Oh. Can only say what you see.
Say what you see, say what you see.
There was a little gap from Scottish boxing, wasn't there? For shows up here.
Sorry, mate, say that again.
There was a little gap from Scottish boxing.
Yeah, I mean, the problem you got is you need a major title these days to be taking a show to that area, unless you've got a fighter that can sell in any city, which is very, very rare. So, obviously, when Ricky Burns got beat by Zlati Karnin, we was going from 7,000-8,000 to the Beltran fights and the Crawford fights, to all of a sudden getting beat by Zlati Karnin, and we sold 3,500 tickets at Brayhead. It was a disaster, and he got beat. So after that, it was you just can't stay in Belfast. You can't. In Glasgow, you can't be headlining shows with Ricky coming back in an intercontinental fight, and you're not selling tickets. So it took a while, and the return was Michele De Rocco for Ricky to become a freeweight world champion, and then of course the Relic fight, and now the unification against Ndonga. It's an unbelievable turnaround of a career. I mean, there's some stuff in the media. I thought he was done after the Zlati Karnin fight. I mean, he was in tears in the dressing room after, and I just couldn't see a way back from him. And the Figueroa fight was probably a blessing because it came up. There was no pressure, and I think what you're saying about, there was a pause in the shows in Scotland. He has carried Scottish boxing on his shoulders, probably for the last, close to 10 years, I suppose, probably 6-7 years. There hasn't been another Scottish fighter coming through capable of headlining in Scotland in major title fights. So Ricky's had that pressure on him, and I think just now he's really got his confidence back. I think the Relic fight was good for that as well, because his confidence was so flat and low after the Zlati Karnin loss. Figueroa helped, of course De Rocco, and then I think the Relic fight was the one fight where he got those 12 hard rounds in, and I think really started to believe again. I see a new air of confidence in him ahead of this fight.
Do you think he gets a bit of unfair criticism and stick? People kind of question how Ricky Burns, saying that he's massively overachieved in his.
Oh, he has overachieved.
Yeah, overachieved in his career. But how is Ricky Burns? With no disrespect, how is he a freeweight world champion? Is that fair to say that? To question that?
Well, how is he? Because he won the belts. But,
yeah, I know.
But in terms of his ability, perhaps he shouldn't be. I'm not saying he's the greatest fighter in history, freeweight world champion. But what he does well, others can't match. Desire, work rate, the work that he puts in camp. People can't match that. I mean, he's down in the gym with all our young lions. They can't match what he's doing. He inspires them. And he's a great example to everybody, not just fighters, that you haven't got to be the smartest geezer around. You haven't got to be the greatest athlete around. You haven't got to be the greatest technically skilled sportsman around to achieve. But if you have desire, if you put the work in, and if you want it more than anyone else wants it, then you've got a great chance of achieving.
I mean, one thing you can't knock him is his record of opponents. It is fault. Everyone. across the weights, and it looks like that will continue.
The great thing about Ricky is he's up for fighting anybody. He never got the unification that he wanted so badly at 135 pounds. So this was a huge tick in his career box. He really wanted this unification fight. So there's never a problem with Ricky, whoever he fights. It's not like there's a chain of command that's going to be turning down. I'd really put other fights to him for this night for more money and less risk, which is generally the smarter thing to do. But he was completely not interested in any of those. He wanted the chance to win another belt. And to be fair to Ndongo, he's doing exactly the same thing. He got offered big fights in America, but he thinks he can beat Burns and get another belt. And if he can do that, then his value increases significantly as well,
We know Anthony Crolla is up here. Is there anything in that?
Yeah, there is. I think Crolla Burns is a fight that I looked at a while ago, and Crolla Burns, multi-belt fight is definitely of interest to us, Sky, Anthony Crolla. Ricky Burns likes that fight. If the deal's right for him, I think it's a fight he thinks he can win. I think Crolla's got three options really. I think one is to have a comeback fight of some respect. The other one is Terry Flanagan, which I reached out to Queensbury this week about that fight. And the other one is to fight Ricky Burns or Ndongo. So, I think Crolla's here with one eye on proceedings. He's had a tough fight, he's had a tough run. So part of me would like to bring him back and then build again, but also when you're in that run, you're in that big fight momentum, you want more. And if the right one comes up, then he'd certainly look at it.
You'd be happy for Anthony Crolla to fight on BT Sport and BoxNation?
It's never a stumbling point. If the deal is right for Crolla, that fight sells out the MEN. And I know exactly to the penny how much money can be generated by that gate. That's even before TV. So I know what both guys should be paid for that fight, and it's a lot more than's been offered to Crolla so far. You kind of got, it's almost like a Brooke Khan scenario with those two, where you've got the champion now, and you've got the name fighter, the fighter with the bigger commercial value. It's a bit like Brooke Khan. So, should it be a 50-50, or should Crolla get more money because he's the bigger name? Same kind of arguments around Brooke Khan. So I think there's a deal to be done. I said to Andy Ayling, if you want, we'll do two fights. We'll do one on BT, one on Sky. Let them make a load of money to us. It's going to be a good fight. So that's an option. If it was solely on BT, we don't have a problem with that if the deal's right. I certainly wouldn't stand in Crolla's way to make significant money, if it was significant money. There's not. You got Butler against McDonald. Could be getting made. That'd be on BT. No problem. They've made a good offer to Jamie McDonald. Go and earn your money. It's not for me to stop people earning their money. If the deal is right and they're happy with the terms and the security, then we'll take that fight. And that goes the same with Crolla as well.
But regardless of I'm saying you perceive Crolla's commercial worth. His stock, obviously, since losing the world title initially to Linares,
that's probably gone up. He's had, the fight was on Showtime in the States. There's a huge crowd in the arena. I don't think his stock has dropped, really, since the Linares defeat. He's fought one of the best lightweights.
I'm just talking about the value of him not being a champion.
Yeah, that comes into it for sure. Listen, if they were both champions, I would say Crolla should be getting 70-30, split in this fight. But Crolla's now not a champion, so Flanagan, and this is not a criticism of Terry Flanagan, who's a very, very good fighter, but half the arena, well, it was half an arena anyway, well, it wasn't, it was a quarter of arena, half of the quarter of arena left during the Terry Flanagan fight, who is in Manchester. So, he's not he's not a draw in Manchester. He's a very good fighter, and we have full respect for him as a camp perspective. But it's the levels in terms of value and commercial value, you can't compare the two in Crolla and Flanagan. But Flanagan is world champion, so you have to give him that respect in negotiations as well. But it's not really me who makes the decisions. I don't phone up Anthony Crolla and say, oh, you are fighting this guy on X date. It's Anthony Crolla, it's Joe Gallagher. I will put all the options together. Could be Ricky Burns, could be Ndongo, could be a fight in America, could be a comeback fight, could be Terry Flanagan. And they will make the decision, or we will make the decision collectively. People forget that sometimes. I'm not...
It's all about you.
No, it is. But from a decision-making process on fights, I don't really call the shots.
You're there to present the options.
Correct. And recommend, listen, if a fighter says to me, what do you think I should do? If the Burns fight was available, I think he should 100% take the Burns fight. If the Flanagan fight's available and the terms are considerable, I think he should take that fight as well. But Joe might not want to take that fight. Crolla might not want to take that fight.
Just a final thought on Ricky Burns. Are people looking into the last performance from Ndongo, the knockout of John?
I think you have to. You can't not,
but
can you?
Specifically
yeah.
That,
I mean, I wouldn't say he's unknown, but people have talked about him. In boxing, that whole camp from Namibia, with Paulus Moses, and they got a real good super bantamweight as well, and Bunda as well, who's decent around the bantamweight, super bantamweights, and Ndongo, and people have known about him in boxing for a while, but he wasn't regarded as one of the top 5 140 pounders. His win in Russia was very impressive. Now, was that a freak punch? Was that beautifully timed shot? Was that just his moment to step up? And he might be even better than that. So there is the element of unknown. We know he's good, and he's going to be awkward, and he's a tall, rangy southpaw who can punch, which is never great. But what happens when Ricky starts smashing the body and we go through 5, 6, 7 rounds, and those hash browns and sausages that he was eating at breakfast this morning start coming back up.
You're clocking his breakfast?
Of course. We did a check weigh. Different fighters preparing, these guys don't have the benefit necessarily, although they're a couple of years behind in terms of the development of science in sport, I believe, than, say for instance, Britain or America, or maybe not in sport, but in boxing, certainly. And we did the IBF check weight this morning. Ricky was £7 over his weight limit. I think Ndongo was £8. Ricky came down, bowl of porridge, whatever, banana, bit of honey, and the Ndongo's come straight in, 2 sausages, 5 rations of bacon, hash browns, haggis, the whole shebang. So, that doesn't necessarily make a difference in the fight, but it's quite encouraging to think, okay, when the game gets tough later, surely that can't be the best for you.
We shall see. So what other deals
maybe he's unbelievable, and maybe that's the future. Maybe the hash brown, haggis, fight day, meal prep is the one.
We'll see. At 10 o'clock tonight?
Yes.
We walk 10 o'clock?
Yeah, maybe 10, 15.
So what other deals you made? Who are you talking to? What fights have you got in the pipeline?
We got some great news yesterday about a world title fight, which will be announced probably next week. It's a new show for June. We got Dillian White's opponent announced next week in our London show, June the 3rd. We've got the White Rhinos title fight will be announced for the Brook card. That'll be on Monday or Tuesday. Hoping to announce another world title fight for as chief support for Brooke Spence. Got another title fight to announce on Monday or Tuesday for the AJ card.
How many more fights going on there?
One more. So you got the 3 title fights, and then the 3 Olympians and AJ. So 6 or 7 fights total. But what we're going to have to do with the Olympians is because of the timings of the show. So you've got Coley, Kelly, Cordina. So I'm going to get 3 numbers, and I'm going to get them all to pick a number. Number 1 starts the show at 6:30. 2 and 3 will be floats. 2 will almost certainly get on. The third, you might be coming out at half 10.
Peak time.
Yeah. No, you might be coming out peak time. You might be coming out half 10 when AJ's knocked out Klitschko.
But one of these rare moments of honesty. Can I think you?
You know I'm honest. What?
No,
what do you want?
I'm gonna.
Oh, right.
I mean, I'm a bit disappointed with the card. I don't know what it is. I'm not knocking what you've got on there because Perez and Campbell's a great fight.
So is Quick Simeon.
But you've always said before, when the event is that big, you may see a slightly lesser undercard.
I don't think it's a weak undercard. It's just a weaker undercard than previous Joshua fights, which is when you got AJ fighting Klitschko. That's life. I mean, I think it's a strong card. I think it's eventful. We are limited by the fact that we can't start till 6:30. Normally we'd start at 5 o'clock. But just like Froch Groves, 3 years ago? No, you had DeGale, but at the time was in a final eliminator. Wasn't like he was a world champion who he is now. You had Kevin Mitchell fighting, and you had Jay McDonald fighting, and then you had Gamal fight. Joshua, a 6 rounder, yeah. So I feel as though it's the same kind of level as that card, and obviously a much bigger main event as well. So.
Not knocking,
That's a good card, but it's not. Listen, it's nowhere near AJ Molina, for example, but it was AJ against Molina. You've got the biggest fight in British boxing history, and obviously you're working with KMG as well and Klitschko, and it's a joint promotion, and we have to work together on. So let's just say that if it was a Klitschko show in Germany, I mean, I'll give you an example. When Tyson Fury boxed Klitschko, the chief support was John O'Carroll in an 8-rounder.
So the bottom line to it is, obviously the bulk of the money is tied up in the main event.
But listen, we've still spent a lot of money on those fights. I mean, Quigg against Simeon in eliminator for the IBF, and Campbell against Perez for the number 1 spot to Linares. They're not fights that aren't expensive. Another title fight coming in as well, plus the 3 Olympians. So yeah, but of course, it's difficult because when you're in the arena and the audience watching this fight, and this is why Klitschko's cards have been how they have been, the only thing people are really interested in, and I know this is the main event, but there are boxing fans that want to see it, and I think Klitschko's argument in the past is that people aren't here to watch that, but there is a number of people that are there, and we have to give them value for money, and I believe you've got it. You've got it with the biggest fight in British boxing history. So yeah, we have to push sometimes when we're in co-promotions to even get this kind of budget for cards, because some people, and this isn't really about Klitschko, some other promoters that we've worked with in the past on co-promotions haven't wanted to spend anything sizable on undercards at all.
Okay, well, the title fight you're going to announce, at what level is that title fight?
It's a fighter coming through that I think is one of the biggest stars in what they do.
Okay, you're going to announce that Monday?
Yeah, Monday. It's bank holiday Monday, isn't it? So we've got a Liverpool show next week. So
talk about Joshua's comments. I want to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he was asked. I think it was GQ. Said a lot of people are saying you're going to be the sport's first billionaire. How do you feel about it? I think he said, yeah, I'd fucking love to be. Thanks. Gave some comments, and then Klitschko picked up, and I think Klitschko's going to try and get in his head, don't you?
Possibly.
I would if I was Klitschko. I'd think that was one of my best chances. And I think on Fight Week he's going to really try and do it. The Gloves Are Off, which is tomorrow night, Sunday, at 7 p.m, is a really good watch. I've seen a few tweets. Oh, it's boring. These guys are so boring. Bring back White and Chisora. And obviously, when you do that, people say it's a disgrace and they should be banned forever. But trust me, it's intense and it's interesting. And you can see little bits of it there where Klitschko's trying to just get in there.
Some bits of it. When was that filmed?
That was on the day of the German press conference. So probably...
Not that long ago then.
Was it 6 weeks ago?
Was that 6 weeks ago?
I think so, yeah. But this fight, I've never seen anything like this fight. Worldwide. I mean, IMG are our TV partners for this one. Just say they haven't seen these kind of numbers since Mayweather Pacquiao. Huge. US TV deal announced on this Monday coming is groundbreaking, history making, and that's because of the size of the fight. And it's an honour to be promoting this fight. It really is. Not sure we'll see anything like this. You know, I said the same for Froch Groves, but we haven't seen anything like Froch Groves since Froch Groves. And now this is it. This is the one to eclipse it.
You physically can't get any more people in there.
No, you could get an extra, maybe another 5, 6, 7,000 into the arena, but it's about capacity and numbers. So originally, when we applied for a capacity, it was 75. Then you had to do 10,000 coach packages. Then we got an extra 5,000 because there's some extra tubes put on and stuff like this, but 90,000 was the number that we were allowed. I think, I just spoke to Frank, I think there's like 16 coach packages left, or something like that. The total tickets out is 89,970 or 84, something like that. Incredible. We could have sold another 100,000. The last ticket was sold, we had 36,000 people in an online queue. Still not been able to get tickets.
Obviously, when the tickets went on sale for this, you did it in sections, didn't you? Sort of allocations, certain amount. Still, some things around match and fight pass. Is this something you want to work on?
I think Fight Pass is working well now. I don't think we've really had many complaints. Brooke Spence was a good example. Everybody got their tickets.
So did everyone on Fight Pass?
The problem is there's a certain amount of tickets on Fight Pass. Now, if say you want a £40 ticket, if everybody on Fight Pass wants a £40 ticket, they cannot get, like there isn't enough supply. So you might get an £80 ticket, and someone will say, well, I don't want an £80 ticket. I say, well, no. So when people say Fight Pass is gone, it's sold out, it's not. It might just be that allocation's gone, for example. So we've capped Fight Pass. Now, I could sell another 5,000 Fight Pass memberships easily, but I can't supply the tickets. So there's no value in doing that. So we've capped it, and people say your Fight Pass is sold out. Why? Because we've capped the Fight Pass so that members can get tickets, and the system's working much better now. Still not perfect, but
Fight Pass has become solely about ticket access now. Isn't it? The original Fight Pass plan didn't really work out.
No, the only thing that's changed is originally we were going to stream events, but the game's changed, the world's changed, streaming's changed, digital media's changed, where we stream some Fight Pass shows to Fight Pass members. I don't know, say we had 3,000 Fight Pass members, about 100 people were watching the fight. It's costing you 15 grand to put in production, and I'm thinking, why are we doing this when no one's watching it? The only reason, well, the 95% main reason people want Fight Pass is to get priority tickets. So why would we put a stream show on this platform with about 100 people watching it when I can put it on Facebook and drive huge numbers? So now it's all flipped. So, we're doing a lot more streaming on Facebook and across other platforms.
That's a good tool, actually, that Facebook.
It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, the fights tonight, so like 2 fights that I would have liked to seen on TV, but, Sky think that there's other fights they'd prefer on TV. Joe Ham and Charlie Flynn. But this gives you the opportunity to put those fights on Facebook on a big audience and give fight fans a chance to watch the prelims. And so I think we'll be live from 5:30 on Facebook for 2 hours. So yeah, I think it's been a great tool for us.
Happy with StubHub?
Yeah, I mean, you keep asking these questions all the time. But
yeah, I mean, brought up all the time.
I don't know how many times I've got to answer it. Yeah, I mean, StubHub are huge for us. They're selling our primary face value tickets better than anybody. That's one of the reasons. That you have to understand. Taking the secondary market away, they are a huge seller for our primary face value tickets. Once again, we do not sell tickets on the secondary market. We don't sell tickets at increased face value. We sell at StubHub face value tickets only. There is the secondary site where the public, you could go on and try and sell your ticket. As far as I'm concerned, don't buy them. Don't buy secondary tickets. We don't benefit from it. I'd rather put the face value tickets up and stop the secondary market completely. Because that's what's happening. You think as a promoter, I've got a £100 ticket here, and you've just bought a £100 ticket, and now you want to sell it for £300. I'd rather have that £300 than letting you have it. Why should you have it? You ain't done no work. So one of the ways to eliminate the secondary market is to increase the face value ticket. Rather not do that. Because if there is this secondary market for all these huge... VIP tickets are £2,000, right, for Joshua Klitschko. They are going for 10, 15, 20, £40,000. I'd like that money. Why didn't I just make all of them 10 grand? I would have sold every ticket in the same amount of time at 10 grand a pop. Lynched. You know why? Because we're here for the long run. Other promoters, they don't care about what they care on undercard. They don't care about the ticket prices. As far as they're concerned, take the money while it's there. And if we had a short-term mentality, if we thought that we're out in a year or we're out in 2 years, I'd make it 10 grand a seat. I don't care. But we're not. We're here for a long time. Our reputation's on the line. We've got to give fans value for money. We're not asking you, like every couple of months, stick your hand deep in your, and then you to turn around and say, that was overpriced. Like, fuck this lot. We can't afford that. So we have to provide value for money. And we do it all the time. That's why we sell more tickets than anybody. That's why we've got the best platform. That's why we've got the best fighters. Because we're the best.
Modest.
Modest but true. I don't know what else to say. Of course. Who else is better? Tell me a better platform, better outfit in the UK for UK boxing than us.
Anyway.
You can't. It's not a case of being arrogant, it's the truth.
Liverpool next week. Dave Allen's not on that card now, is he?
You love Dave Allen, don't you? Operation White Rhino. Dave Allen has got a title fight on the Kell Brook card. It's such a great story, this is, if he can do it. It's a very tough fight for him. Very tough fight. But I'll tell you what, the atmosphere at Bramall Lane for his fight, this is an opportunity he'll never forget. And a moment he'll never forget. Dave Allen walking out in front of 27,000 people in a major Commonwealth, major title fight. It's a brilliant opportunity for him.
So you just didn't want any risks ahead of Sheffield?
No, I was happy for him to box in Liverpool, but Mike Marsden, it's the right thing to do. They want to go away and work on his sparring. And we may add one more fight to Liverpool, late notice.
Really? What weight?
I'm not sure yet. No, we might have a little 4-round gap or something like that, 6 rounds. So it's a great card. You've got 3 50-50s up there. You've got Murray Rosado, which is a very tough fight for both. It's a career ender for both. Fielding against Ryder, great fight. Very tough one to call. Dodd against Appleyard, complete 50-50. So, good card.
Sheffield. How many fights will be on that card? Around 10? 9?
10, yeah. Something like that. We hope to announce Chief Support next week, world title fight.
It's a good fight, that is. You've got to know. Okay. Got anything else you want to add?
No, I haven't really given you anything controversial, have I? I don't really feel the need to be controversial anymore. Don't know.
No?
Or rant. You never really see me rant anymore, do you?
You happy rant though, don't you? You don't.
Like schmarmy rant.
Yeah, like.
I don't really get. Don't know.
You don't really. I've never seen you flip out and lose it and start.
I'll tell you. No, not really. Not a very angry person, really.
No. Hit me with some dates in June. June the 3rd.
June the 17th.
Where?
Not telling you.
Here.
Here where? Glasgow.
No, it's in.
Here.
UK.
What? July the 1st. Looks like the gal.
Here.
Here.
UK.
Yeah. And that'll probably be us. We've got this next gen show we're going to do in Newcastle. Just deciding whether to go May the 19th. It's just it's a little bit short notice really. I'd like that extra couple of weeks. Or go in June with that.
So hang on, the gal, 1st of July. London?
O2, yeah.
O2? So what's your dates at the O2 then?
Yeah. Is that right with you?
Yeah, it's cool.
We do all the boxing at the O2.
Will that be a pay-per-view show?
Depends on who the fight is.
Interesting. Why didn't you just do one mega show? Like the June the 3rd, July 1st? Why?
Because we've got too many fighters to get out. June the 3rd, we go with Dillian, we go with O'Hara, we go with Buglioni, all our youngsters. We take the bottom bowl, 8,000-9,000. And then obviously the Gal fights there, so it's a huge seller.
Good to see the gal back home.
It'd be great to see the Gal back home. We're working hard on it.
Are you going to stick O'Hara in with them?
We're looking for a big fight. I want a world name. I want a name that people go, ooh, jeez.
What about one of old Money Mays? No?
They don't want it. They don't want this work. They offered us someone actually, but I've never really heard of him.
Oh.
It's like a 10-0 kid. Tell you they offered us. I kept going back. It's a bit frustrating. It's a bit like that.
The Fear Fame, what happened with that?
Right, the J. Leon Love fight. After we had our interview, I went back, offered them probably 30% on top of that, and they still turned it down. No, I offered a few times for Fear Pain, but I don't think they want to fight O'Hara. It's a tough one because, like Fear Pain, he's not really getting much out of fighting O'Hara. Do you know what I mean? He's getting a few quid, but he offered me. Juan Heraldez. So, that's not really known, but I think he's quite good.
Did you see that picture that Mayweather put on his Instagram the other day?
Oh, what, of Tabiti, whatever his name
Andrew
is?
the Beast to beat him.
Against Bellew.
Against Bellew.
I text Bellew because he was in Mauritius. I said, Floyd's just tweeted this. He went, who's that geezer? He went, is there any money in that fight? I went, no. No. I'm not sure you'll see Tony Bellew return at cruiserweight.
Any update?
He's back from holiday. He's working the show next week in Liverpool. I think, if he fights again, I think there's 3 fights. Parker.
Eubank.
Parker, Wilder, Hay. I'd like to see the Hay rematch, and I'd like to be involved in that fight, but I think it's just about timing. Because if Hay's not going to be ready till November, December, or early next year, it's a long way.
He'll only fight once this year, though, won't he?
Yeah. I think when the timing's right, we had a good promotion with Hayes' team. I think, like I said before, that's the fight for David Hay, isn't it? you know, the Bellew rematch, and I'd like to be involved in that fight. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
There's been a lot of fights lately that they make so much sense, and just the two fighters and camps just they end up biting themselves in the arse.
Example?
Groves de Gale. I think Brooke Khan. You know, there's two fights there that could be made like that, and it's frustrating.
Surely, if obviously Sal's tweeted about Groves and
Chudinov. Yeah, well, that fight's happening. But before that, you know, we did have some talks.
No, but if Jules wins that fight, then surely.
Yeah, but you're talking about earning 10 times as much in another fight, and that's actually the number 10 times. And Chudinov's not necessarily an easy fight, you know. But sometimes,
unification.
Yeah. Ooh. But sometimes you got to strike. You got to take these fights. This is a short career. You know, you got to grab these opportunities while they're there. And Tony Bellew's a great example. You know, the David Haye fight was about him challenging himself, believing he could win, but ultimately securing his future and his kids' future. He went and took it, and he won. The next one is just, you know, he's going to give himself a life he'd never dreamed of, and that's, for me, more important than anything. And when you look at de Gale and you look at Groves, they're in the back ends of their career now. You know, go and take that fight and set up your kids for life. You know, give yourself that life you always dreamed of when you're out slogging the streets on the hill runs and you're an amateur, and you know you've got a chance here to do it and to make it. Brooke Khan, same. You know, when you're done and you're 34, 35, and you look back on your career and you can walk around that house that's all paid for, and you know you can send your kids to the school that you want to send them to, and you can let them, you know, live the life you'd love to give them. That's more important than anything. So when those chances come up, you've got to take them.
Just like you did.
I'm a silver spoon kid, but I work for my kids, you know, and for me personally, because I want to achieve. You know, I'm driven because I want to be better than my dad. Everyone's got different reasons, and my reason is I want to do better than my dad did. That's a competition between us two. It doesn't matter whether we're playing cricket in a garden, whether we're in a pool on holiday, just swimming up and down doing lengths that turns into a race. That's the competitive nature, and that's why you find it hard to beat me, because I'm relentless. Because I guess being Barry Hearn's son probably lodged in my head growing up. That's what I was. And it's only now where he's going to Sheffield, to the World Snooker, and someone's asking him for photos because he's Eddie Hearn's dad. And that's so sweet. But that's the kind of relationship we've got, you know. But why do you work? Why do you work? What are you trying to get, you know? Are you just trying to make sure you can live well? You're trying to build a future?
I had more money before I started doing this.
Not sure.
Yes,
I don't think so.
You didn't know me then.
Yeah, but that's knocking out dodgy gear out of a boot. You can't live that kind of lifestyle.
Why not?
Joking, by the way. No, but you got to have purpose, haven't you? What's your purpose?
My purpose is to be the best I can be.
Yeah. But with your project, what are you trying to achieve? You're trying to change your game? You're interested in that? Does that appeal to you?
I think we've already done that.
Yeah, you have. But does that give you a kick that you're doing, you know, that you're doing something dynamic, something different, something that hasn't been done before? You want to make money, don't you?
We all want to make money.
Yeah.
Can't be doing everything for the love of the game.
No. But I think the love of the game gets you there.
Of course it does.
And that's what I say to young fighters.
The love of the game doesn't pay your Eon electricity bill, which I got the other day for 400 quid for 6 months.
Mine's outrageous.
Who are you
Gas
with?
bill. I think it's British Gas.
With Eon.
I don't know, and I'm not really up to speed on this, it's not good, but when they do an estimate gas bill, and then obviously find out you're actually using a lot more, they cane you for the next 2 years. It's thousands. I swear it's like 1,500 quid a month or something. I don't know. So, yeah, but your priorities change, don't you? Listen, before I had kids and a family, I weren't thinking about securing their future and giving them the life that I want them to have. I was just thinking about how can I go and buy a new suit or a new car and go out the weekend with my mates, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But your priorities change in life. That's why I think as fighters get older, they start to realise that actually you need to jump on those big opportunities and not let your attitude or your opinions of someone get in the way, because you just got to do smart business.
Money's important. It's not. Shouldn't be your main driving factor.
Happiness is the key.
Yeah, you got to be happy in what you're doing.
But it's not about. That's what I'm going back to. It's not about for us. The money is just a number. It's just a target. Now you might have an annual target to hit, for the business, but it's just a competition. It doesn't matter whether that number was 10 grand or 10 million. We've got to beat it. That's the competition within our family. So we might look at boxing division and say, right, last year we made X. All I want to do is beat that number. The number's not important, but that's my challenge. A runner's challenge might be to break a certain time over 200 metres. And your challenge is to hit a certain amount of views.
Yeah, but I don't know why you always have a pop at us about me chasing views, because...
But I'm joking. But that's your challenge, isn't it? No, but you might have a pop at me chasing numbers, chasing money, chasing profit.
No, but I don't expect you to go, right, okay, we've got 500,000 for Benny Hay. I'm just giving you a rough thing, was that 500,000. Oh, for Joshua Klitschko, we want to aim for less. Well, that's ridiculous, obviously. But that's the same thing. No, but you always go...
What I'm saying is, you need targets to motivate yourself, to perceive success. So, you know that for Joshua Klitschko Fight Week, if you hit, you tell me, views on fight, what would be a great number for you to hit? You might start that week and say, you know what I really want to do? I'd love to go through 2 million views.
More.
Okay.
If we got 2 million for Joshua Klitschko in the week, I'd probably hang this camera up.
Right, so 5 million?
Yeah, happy with 5.
Okay, well we can put this on record now, on this interview. So you'd be happy with 5, but you don't strike me as the kind of guy, and I hope you're not this kind of guy that just wants to be happy with, because I'm not that kind of geezer. So we don't want to be happy. What do we want to do?
Smash fucking numbers, bro.
Exactly. So what sort of numbers do we want to smash?
Do you know what? It's very unpredictable, because like...
Give me a number that you would be fucking over the moon with for Joshua Klitschko.
If we hit sort of anywhere between, say, 5 and 7 for that week, I'd be like,
7 million views.
Yeah.
And what number would give you a popcorn in your pants? Tell me. $8 million?
Yeah.
No, but you didn't even smile when I said 8 million.
Yeah, but the problem is, I
want to see you go.
Do you know what it is?
Tell me. All right, 9 million.
No, but
10 million. Is 10 million achievable? Can you do it?
It's achievable, but it's unrealistic because of your undercard.
Oh, sorry about that. I knew it would be my fault. So,
no, but you know when... Listen,
I know you're saying, 9 million.
It's achievable, but again...
Okay, 8 million.
Achievable. No buts.
Realistic or unrealistic?
No.
I don't want unrealistic. Like,
right,
I want borderline unrealistic.
Realistic is between
5 and 7. So 8...
would, that'd be like, well, we've done.
I want to play poker with you because you're hard to read. Are you going to be happy with 8? Like,
Ed, if we get 5 million, I'll be happy.
Okay.
I genuinely would.
So we are going to hit 8 million. That's your target, and we will hit that number on that week. One way or the other, we will get there. Right?
Even if you've got to stick a sock down your pants and wave for us.
It doesn't matter. We'll get there. We'll find a way. You've got to find a way. And if you don't hit it, you don't hit it. But you've got to have those, those targets.
I'll give you an example, Like, our best ever month we've ever had, was Joshua Molina. the best ever month as a whole on IFL.
Well, she's all right, that's why.
Yeah, but it's a combination of a lot of things. You had a strong card. Joshua hits numbers anyway. So it was a strong month. But that's kind of when Joshua fights. If Joshua fights...
Okay, yeah, but let's see if we can hit 8 million. I mean, our little interview the other day, we've held has done 100-odd thousand. This will do 100-odd thousand, won't it?
This is a long-ass interview, I'll tell you that.
It was going nowhere, and now we've started talking, you know. I'm going to go to the gym soon, but it's just...
Do you know what? It's just one question I ask myself, Edward. You listening?
Yeah. What is that question?
So I ask myself this question every day.
Do you?
And I go...
Should I have a cheeseburger or a quarter pounder? Is that the one?
No. Always go quarter.
Go on.
I go, I'm 35, yeah?
Yeah. I'm 37.
You're 37. I'm 35. Do you want to be doing this? Do I want to be sat here with you when I'm 40 doing this?
You know, mate, it's only 5 years.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm 35. Do I still want to be doing this?
It's only the same for me, isn't it? I mean...
No, but it's a bit different for
Yeah,
me.
but you know the lifestyle, the sacrifices. I'm talking about family, travel, time, you know? So for me, it's more about, do I want to be consistently away during the week, away at weekends, missing things that I'd love to be doing with my family? That's the difference for me. It's never a case of, do I want to do this because is it really what I love? I've been around boxing for 30 years. People don't always know that. I've been sitting in gyms since I was 8, 9 years old, just being a nuisance. It's in me now. It'll never leave me. It's the greatest sport in the world. And no other sport can make me feel like boxing does. So I need boxing in my life. You know, I don't take drugs. I don't go out and booze a great deal. This is my drug, boxing. It's what gives me the biggest rush. And the business is the most horrible, dirtiest business where slags in the game will try and fuck you up, will try and ruin what you're doing, will try and be snidey, make moves, try and finish you. But show me where you can find that. You know, do I want to be in a sport where I can just breeze through, dominate the game, no competitors, no aggravation, just turn up, everyone says, oh Eddie, you're unbelievable. Oh, you're the saviour of the sport. No, I don't. I buzz off these people calling me a CUNT, calling me an arrogant, smug prick, telling me they don't like my card or my shows, pushing me to improve, pushing me to beat everybody else, pushing me to dominate. That's what gives me the buzz. It's a bit sick, really. But I guess some people don't want aggravation. So, and maybe I won't one day. I think that's what happened to my dad in boxing. He was doing it for what, 15, 20 years, and then thought, you know what, I don't need boxing in my life. And I'm sure I'll find that one day. But I'm miles away from that at the moment. I'm nowhere near where I want boxing to be. And when I get boxing to where I want it to be, maybe I will step out. And that's why I'm building an infrastructure at Matchroom of the youngsters coming through. I'm talking about in the office, not in the ring. That can, you know, in 5 years' time, be in a position to do what I'm doing. I can oversee the business, but I may move into music, into other sports, whatever. But, you know, do you want to be traipsing all over the country in 5 years' time with a camera, chasing around people, uploading videos when you get home at 2 o'clock in the morning and you just want to go to sleep but you can't because some geezer on Twitter's moaning that you haven't put the press conference up from today? You know?
Yeah, that's what I do ask myself.
Well, but you got to do what makes you happy.
But do you know what? Excuse me. Do you know what? Hey Bellew. So Hey Bellew, I'm like in my head, I'm going to James Wright. Depending on what happens, this is what we need to get after the fight. And we've got everything. And I remember just going to James, give him a little fucking high five. Because we've got like everyone and more, like Rooney, Joshua, France. And this is like it still gives the same buzz getting them people for a post-fight thing, even though we've been doing it for years.
But that's great. That's why at the moment you're still in it and you're still fresh and you're still got the desire to do that. When you don't get that feeling anymore, when I walk out, like say we did Joshua against Klitschko next week, right? And I walked out and I didn't feel nothing. You know, I sat down to watch the fight and I didn't care. I didn't feel anything. Mate, I think I'd have to walk away. Because we like making money. Everybody does. But it's not, you know, I don't mean to say it. It's not like we've got a very successful business. I want to do things that I love. I love doing this because of the feelings that you got there. That's the same feelings I get. When I get in the ring and make a tit out of myself, that's because I've lost the plot. That's because my emotions have completely taken over. It's not me going, oh, quick, get on camera and do something stupid in the ring, because that'll be funny. It's just, I don't give a fuck. We've done it. We've won. This is the only thing that matters. Whatever we've made on the show, I can take it off me now. Empty my pockets. I don't care for this moment, for this feeling. And the same feeling that you got. You know, we've got everyone. Yeah, that's that moment where you say, fucking get in. You go to sleep at night a happy man. But you don't realise the other parts of the business where it might be the US TV deal with Joshua. It's taken me 7 weeks to do that deal. I'm talking about up all through the night waiting on emails and text messages, and people probably watching it going, oh, fucking hell, my heart bleeds for you. Trust me. When you got to go up in the morning, you got to leave at 6 o'clock and go fucking up to Liverpool for a press conference, and then you get home at night at 9 o'clock and all your kids are asleep and you haven't seen them for 3 days, and then your missus is moaning and then the kids are saying, Dad, I don't want you to go to work. You know, it's like this weekend. Oh, it's bank holiday weekend. It's Good Friday. There's Easter egg hunts, whatever kids want to do. And my girl turned around to me, my 7-year-old, and said, I don't want you to go to work this weekend, Daddy. That's worse than anything. That's worse than any commitment, as far as I'm concerned. So, and you ain't got that yet. You know, you may have that one day. Well, and that's a harder pressure than anything. If I didn't have kids, mate, I'd be happy in a 1-bedroom flat. Pick me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. We won't even come home. I'll stay up here all week. You know what I mean? We'll go out. We'll finish the show tonight. We'll go out after. We'll stay here Sunday. We'll go on Monday morning. That's the lifestyle I'd lead. But instead of the only flight home on Sunday being at 1 o'clock to Stansted, I'm getting at 7 o'clock to Gatwick so I can get home and do an Easter egg hunt. That's harder work and more pressure than anything else in boxing. You know? So I finish at the Hydro at 2 o'clock in the morning. I go up to my room. I have an hour and a half skip. I get up, have a shower, go, get on a plane, go back to Gatwick, hour back to the house. As soon as I walk through that door, bosh, 2 kids, Daddy, quick, in the garden. I'm absolutely ruined. That's harder than the job. No, but my missus says to me all the time, how long do you want to do this for? She knows the pressure, she knows the stress, she knows the phones ringing all night, every day. It don't stop all night. America's phoning. Sign this card, do you want to make this fight, do this, governing body, everything, TV. And she knows the stress. But listen, we're blessed. It's given me a great life. It's given my family a great life. But I promise you, once the passion goes, I'm out. And that'll be the same with you. You know, the moment you lose that buzz, the moment you get everyone that you wanted, and you still feel empty, you know?
But you know what? I'll be honest with you, that list, I had a list, didn't I? A little while ago. Like 6 months ago.
What, of all the people you wanted to get?
Yeah. And a lot of them names on there kind of little half ticked off, but it hasn't really made a difference.
To what?
Well, you think if you get everyone on that list...
What are you saying? To your feeling?
Yeah.
Like you haven't felt great about getting people on that list?
No, I have. I'm glad I've got them, but it hasn't made me think, oh, well...
I'm complete.
I can chill out now.
No, because you're driven. And that's why you set goals and boundaries. And once you achieve those, you want more. It's only like being a fighter. Look at a good example might be Gavin McDonald. Right? Turned pro. Oh, I'd love to win an area title. Or an English title. Wins an area title. No. What? That English title's vacant. Wins an English title. Okay, now. I could win a British title here. Wins a British title. Euros next. When's you? So same with us. It was always a dream of mine, not dream, but something I really wanted to do was to do an outdoor show. I grew up. First show I ever went to, Bruno Buckner, White Hart Lane. Ben Eubank at Old Trafford. Watson Eubank, White Hart Lane. Herbie Hyde, Michael Bent, Millwall. I went to all of these as a kid. I wanted to do one of those. First one we done was Luke Campbell against Tommy Coyle, debut. Great, it was 8,000 or 9,000. The next one was Wembley Stadium. It had sold 80,000 tickets. But when I did that, I didn't turn around and say, "Oh, I've done it," and that's the same with you. So as you're trying to tick off this list, the game's changed, the business has changed, and no longer that is your ultimate goal.
Conor McGregor ticked, Mayweather ticked, Eddie Hearn
ticked, always ticked. I feel this has been a great live chat.
It has been. I think it's very long. Give someone something to do before they tune in.
What are you gonna? I think you should title this something like "Life Count." Oh, shoulders gone. Life Counselling with Eddie and KUGAN. We're lucky. We're very lucky to be in jobs and that we love.
It really is.
There's a lot of people who are in jobs. Listen, there's a lot of people.
Lucky is winning the lottery. This ain't luck.
We're lucky. We're lucky people.
No, it's not. Lucky is the wrong word, isn't it?
No, we're lucky. Of course we're lucky. You've seen some of the people in the world.
No, but I think lucky is the wrong word.
About in our country, we're fucking lucky people. We're all lucky. But everyone watching this is lucky. They're watching it on a laptop or a mobile phone. They're lucky. Everyone's dealt a different hand, aren't they? But everyone's got their struggles. Doesn't matter whether they're a multi-millionaire or they're skinned. Everyone's got struggles in life. But we're all lucky because the other side of the coin, I'm not talking about in the UK, I'm talking about around the world. We are lucky. Lucky people. We're lucky to be alive, we're lucky to have our health, we're lucky to have our family. That's what matters. Don't worry about views, don't worry about ticket sales, don't worry about undercards. We're happy and we're lucky. That's the truth. But we're also driven. That's why I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to run for 40 minutes. When I'm running, my belly and my moobs are going to be jumping up and down, and I'm not going to want to do it. I'm going to hate it, but I want to stay healthy and I want to be around for as long as possible. And you need to get in the gym and all.
I'm in the gym. Shout out to
Can we
David
talk
Lloyd.
about that?
No.
Okay.
Shout out to David Lloyd.
Yeah. Everybody's got to get in the gym and stay healthy. I feel like the mindset of people in our country is changing and the healthy vibe is taking over. Do you feel that? You know what you need to do? You need to you see with smoking, you know how people have isolated it so that you can, you have like smoking areas and stuff like that. It's almost become embarrassing to smoke. And that was that is how you stop smoke, like you stop people from smoking, you stop young kids from smoking. When I was growing up, smoking was really cool. Like we'd go to a house party and if you had a packet of fags, you would have donned. You know what I mean? Now, if you're standing outside and you're having a cigarette in a little confined space, it's quite pathetic. I actually think it's quite pathetic.
I never really thought of it like that.
No, it is.
Outcasting. You go stand over there. You want to smoke? Go over there.
No, but when I was a kid, I'd smoke every now and again, and I never I feel sorry for people when I see them in a smoking area, because it's like people are looking at you, thinking, "Look at the state you're in that little area there. Just come out for a crafty fag." And you know what else is happening? Using a mobile phone when you're driving is becoming a disgrace, right? If people see you using a phone...
We have 25 seconds left.
Okay, if people see you using a phone, it is really starting to be frowned upon by the general public.
So
and
it should be.
And I know, but now I feel like that's how you get into people's mentality, where it's a bit like the smoking. And that's the same as healthy eating. If you're eating a burger now, put it down and get to the gym. Anyway, we're out. Thanks for listening. Love you all.
Thanks, Ed.